Hello there once again, people, and welcome to yet another episode of Sinking Shamblers. This time around, we're checking out a level known as Altar of Pain, made by T.H. Johansson, also initialized as TJ. But oddly enough, his level names generally have TEF at the beginning of them. I'm not sure what the EF stands for. You would think it would be like THJ or something like that, not TEF. But yeah, all his levels have TEF at the beginning of them for whatever reason. So, yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, this is a fairly large Quake map, and the interesting thing about this particular one in comparison to most is that it's designed specifically for single player. Most of the Quake maps you'll see out there are designed for multiplayer with single player tacked on. They're basically just kind of thrown in as a last minute thing. This one's the exact opposite. It's basically just made for single player. In fact, deathmatch hasn't even been implemented yet, and it wasn't even designed for deathmatch. So this is specifically just for single player. That's the only mode supported. That's the only thing here, but it's a fully fledged single player thing with 60 monsters and an exit, meaning it's a full-fledged campaign mission that's fully based in single player. Which, like I said, is definitely very, very good for someone like us, but is rather interesting when you think Quake is pretty much notable for the fact that you pretty much just play an endless stream of deathmatch missions. You know, this type of thing would be exciting. This sort of thing would be normal for days like Doom. But in Quake, yeah, you wouldn't see this type of mission generally. So, rather nice to see for once. Anyway, there is something else to note. There is no difficulty settings, not that we really ever care. Like, do we ever play this on any other difficulty besides Nightmare? Well, maybe when I'm doing the Wikaya walkthroughs, but that's aside the point. Beyond that, there's like nothing else to do. If playing with a Quake CD in the drive, the level will be playing track number 5. Well, that rhymes. I don't know why it matters, but for some reason it just sounds awesome that it just rhymed right there. Anyway, the story for the level, because we also have a flashy, fancy story included with this whole thing, is that we have an interdimensional intelligence agency, the IIA, has gotten information about an evil and devastating ceremony that's about to take place at what is whispered to be the Altar of Pain, aka the name of the level, which is basically a demonic chapel where hideous shamblers are said to rule. Somebody has to stop the ceremony from being fulfilled, or else the world is doomed to be ruled by dark and evil forces for all eternity. But to get there will take a strong effort, the IIA realized. Therefore, having saved the world once, the IIA has called upon you to take the task to penetrate the Shamblers' stronghold and get to their chapel before it's too late. Stupid question, but if this is taking place chronologically after the story of Quake, where are these Shamblers coming from? Like, hideous Shamblers are said to rule in this place, but who's controlling the Shamblers? Weren't Shamblers like the children of Shub-Niggurath, or like, of the entity of Quake? And at least from what I know of, the expansion packs basically try to make it sound like, oh, this wasn't the real Quake, or if it was Quake, it basically was, the role was transferred to someone else. Here it's just, there's a bunch of Shamblers in a little location. Go get them. And at the same time, this is chronologically after Quake existed. So, yeah, I'm not really sure how exactly this kind of works story-wise. It's kind of definitely feels like a weird story. Then again, as pretty much the original id Software game, this is pretty much just a tacked-on story. Story really does not matter at all in Quake or any Quake custom levels. This is pretty much as sophisticated of a story as you can kind of get for Quake, and yeah, it really doesn't matter. But anyway, the IIA transports you through your only remaining slipgate. Why do you only have one remaining one? After you saved the world, wouldn't you have a bunch of other slipgates still? Like, you saved the world, you got rid of all these military bases, why is there only one remaining one? Did they realize, like, they couldn't have slipgates anymore? What happened to all these slipgates? This was like a whole massive feature of Quake. I think you should be explaining to me now what happened to all the other slipgates. Anyway, you find yourself in a dark and gloomy basement. Get your dark vision quickly tuned in. Not that we'll ever see that dark vision again. The first thing you spot is enemy soldiers and their Rottweilers. Okay, you're alone. It's pretty dark, but you know that you're not going to disappoint the IIA or yourself. If this is going to take a strong effort, wouldn't they send in more than one person? Like, okay, this guy has saved the world over once, but couldn't this time they say, okay, now we could give him some backup and really take him out? No, we're doing a strong effort to make sure these Shamblers don't take over the world again. We're going to send in one person and see what happens. This isn't a stealth operation. They have a freaking teleporter. They can send in endless supplies, endless men. Instead, they send in one guy with a shotgun and say good luck. This story doesn't really make much sense at all. If you really start nitpicking it, it really is horribly, horribly detailed. But, like I said, that's basically the idea of these stories. It's basically the story of a pawn. It's there basically for setting up things for reasons unknown. Why do you even have the story? Actually, that's a good question. Why do you even have story? Why do like id Software even bother including a story for Quake? Like, we have a story. Why did they even include it? I don't think anyone ever really cares about the story. The story is really, really uninteresting, to say the least. Why is it even included? That's actually a good and weird question to ask oneself. Why do we even have such a story? I mean, I guess because the blurbs at the end of each episode. I guess. I mean, that's something. But yeah, really, the story doesn't really matter in these FPS, so I don't know why they'd even include them. I guess because they can, and it's just one extra little detail to add some lore to this world. But that's beside the point. Anyway, firmly, you pump some lead into that trustworthy shotgun of yours and get on with it. Because when you're going to take down a bunch of forces, you're going to take the weakest gun and hope there's better guns lying around the facility instead of, bringing in a rocket launcher filled with 100 rockets, like a logical person would do. Anyway, it's credits to id Software for making an unbelievable game, Quake, and letting us do what we want with it. Also, he gives credit to Ben Williams for Kuma 1.0. Good stuff, Ben. I think Kuma is actually a rather interesting editor, now that we can talk about it. In fact, we've only seen 4 levels made with it, and this is one of those 4, because you see, I probably should have mentioned this about 8 minutes ago, but this is basically a conversion. We've already seen this level, we've already played through it, but yeah, we basically have to convert it over from the Aftershock variant to its particular regular format. So we'll check it out, do that type of thing. But this is definitely one of the goodie missions, if you will. It's definitely one of the better missions, I would say, that Aftershock released. It's definitely one of the more flashy missions. It includes, like, episodic parts for whatever reason. It's something you don't really see often in custom levels, but I do remember like one Thief level doing it, which is pretty flashy. And yeah, it's also done here as a rather flashy thing. I'm not sure why it was done on certain maps, but it's a thing. It is definitely different and adds a little episodic thing to the levels. Okay, so other than that, he also gives credits to Darren Stabler for revising the map file. Thanks! Darren Stabler, isn't that the same guy who made Basic Castle? I think? Yes, that is. Okay, so the guy who did Basic Castle is the same guy who visits the map file. I guess it makes sense because some people didn't have that powerful computers back then. So you'd send the map file rather basic to someone else with a much more powerful computer who could basically make the BSP from all that. Because otherwise it would take hours to do on your computer. Now it'll take like a minute at most. Anyway, other than that, it is, let's see here. It's a new level from scratch. I bet you didn't expect that one. And it took about 4 days to make, about 40 hours, if not including the time spent learning the basics. Also, he used MS-DOS editor with this one. And this map is biased and run quite perfectly. There may be a version of the BSP file out there that's not vised. If you ever know someone that has that earlier version, please inform them of the new vised BSP file. Other than that, the levels should be quite challenging in certain places, and will take approximately 20 to 25 minutes to complete without cheating. Cheating is not necessary, and will ruin this level, since it's designed specifically for single player. Yeah, it's not too hard to complete from what I remember. It basically is designed to relatively slowly introduce you to things. Near the end, it kind of gets a little bit more painful, but at the same time, overall, this level isn't what I would consider too challenging. It's not Hello, which we still have yet to find, actually. That's one of the levels we definitely have yet to convert over, and it's definitely not included in this compilation, so I'm definitely going to have to look elsewhere and try and see if I can find Hello, because I definitely want to be able to have, like, the normal standard version of Hello, in my server. And I can't exactly do that with the Aftershock version because of the textures and the conflicts between it that would in turn crash GL Quake. Would crash regular Quake, it would crash GL Quake though, because I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why GL Quake has that weird limitation, but that's aside the point. Anyway, you actually may use this level as a base for new maps. I have no idea if anyone anywhere has ever used this as a base for a new map, but he says specifically in the legal documentation that you can actually use this as a base, which is rather interesting because a lot of these levels, people say you can't do anything with it, you just have to be able to distribute it, and if you got it from somewhere other than where it's been placed, you can't distribute it even. This one is relatively very open, definitely. You may distribute it, include it in any compilation, basically as long as you include the text file. You know, very simple. That's rather nice. Especially for a more flashy single-player level. Anyway, as said, this is his first attempt at a Quake level. He likes single-player very much, and decided to design that with it in mind. If you think this level is terrible, please tell me why. If you think it's pretty good, or at least not the worst one you've tried, feel free to tell me that too. If you wish to edit it to implement deathmatch starting points, he could have done this easily, but he's too lazy to do it. Feel free to do so. He doesn't think it would make a good deathmatch level, however. And that's very true. From what I remember, this level is relatively linear. It's almost like designed to be very much like going through the episodic periods. So, needless to say, you'd basically be running along in a relatively straight path. It would be basically like converting the Q2 levels out to be deathmatch levels. Oh wait, they did! But that's beside the point! Let's check out this particular level! Yay! Because we need to have fun and shoot things. What is there to shoot? Enemies. 60 of them. That's a lot of enemies, isn't it? Well, that's embarrassing. I don't seem to have the map file included. I thought I actually did. That's rather weird. I kind of thought I had prepared in advance and had moved that over, but apparently I put it to the wrong folder. No, it's in there. It says specifically, I tried to just put it in there, and it's already in there. Did I spell it wrong? I don't think I did. Why is it not working? This is a rather weird anomaly. Did I type something wrong? Let's try this again, people. Map. TEF_AOP. And also, wait a minute. I can't see... Quake's not appearing, is it? Okay, now you're really messing with me, aren't you? This game's messing with me, people. I don't know what's going on. This isn't good at all. Dust has always worked up to this point, and now all of a sudden it's decided just to start failing on me. Well, that's brilliant. Let's see here. Let's see if I can mess with things quickly. See if I can get some sort of, like, idea why this whole thing ain't working. Hook rate? I don't know what hook rate does, but hook rate sounds pretty, well, it says stuff that doesn't really make much sense to me. I don't know why you'd want the speed of the hook rate. I need a fast hook to detract the map really quickly. But yeah, for some reason I'm not actually seeing Quake. This is rather interesting. And I think I'm definitely going to have to, like, cut this part off and, like, have this as, like, my little intro. And, yeah, then basically have it from there. Because this doesn't seem to be working. And I don't get why. Hello once again, people. So, yeah, if you saw from the introduction part, you could see I had some weird technical difficulties getting the OBS working. The apparent reason why this was happening was because the game's actually not being captured through game capture like I assumed it was. Basically, I have a separate window capture, and it's specifically capturing the DOSBox window. And I thought that was unnecessary, turned that off, and sure enough, that happened to actually cause the entire thing not to work. So, yeah, simple ignorance and kind of forgetting why exactly I had a window capture up in the first place. But yeah, at least now I understand why I did that, and going forward shouldn't have that issue. Yeah, lesson learned. So anyway, at least I got it working, figured it out, and now it should actually be able to sync up perfectly fine. As you see, it's already showing the DOSBox window, which is exactly kind of what we wanted to do in the first place. Anyway, with that in mind, let's load this stupid thing up. Let's see, TFALP, and this is kind of where I was. There we are! And it actually worked! Hooray! Everything's actually working for once. Here we started, things are trying to kill me. But it's working! It's working, and it is... Look at that, pretty little altar lights! I don't know what the point of them are, but they're there! Decorations! Decorative stuff! Also very tech-wally. With some other base stuff. Oh look, more stuff trying to kill me. Luckily, it's much better being able to actually play this game in a much bigger resolution. Feels much nicer, definitely, in comparison to the 300 by 200 resolution. Anyway, Altar of Pain, Prelude. As kind of could be assumed from that. This is the prequel to Altar of Pain, because we have a prelude in the middle of our level. How can you even have a prelude? We're in the level. That isn't much of a prelude, people. Especially when there's no story going on. So what's the prelude to? What are we even learning here? Also, I'm not really sure that was a dark basement. Like, it doesn't even look much like a basement at all. It looks like 3 empty corridors. I mean, I guess that's a basement? But yeah, it sure doesn't really feel like one. Not the most immersive of rooms, is it? Anyway, we got some boxes, we got some stuff. I just picked up those shells I probably shouldn't have. A secret door will open. That wasn't exactly the most secret of a secret doors. Oh god! What's the pain behind that door? And now they get stuck on the crusher. Well, that's one way to kill 2 enforcers. Okay, let's open the door again. We're gonna have 2 ogres roam around. 3 left. Close enough there is. Melee attack was going on. Interesting. Okay, so we got some minor health and some bigger health. Now I guess I'll take the bigger health. I'll leave the minor health for now because I don't really need it. Here's the silver key. Time to get through to this pentagrammy door, which leads to part 1, the relay. What's a relay? Like, a radio communications relay? What does this have to do with anything? I mean, aren't we coming in here to destroy something? So what does a relay have to do with anything? We're not trying to communicate with people outside to, like, save us or something like that. So why would we need, like, a relay? Weird questions, part 102. Okay, so we got skeletons. Why did I just say skeletons and knights? I have no idea, but this Scrag's trying to kill me. Simple enough. Already 1/3 of the enemies are dead. And we just started the prelude. I mean, we just started episode 1. We just exited the prelude, should I say. But yeah, we already killed 1/3 of the enemies and we're already through the... just started the first episode. That feels kind of weird. But, yeah, there's a nail gun there, but a bunch of things trying to kill me on the opposite side. We gotta play, grab this nail gun and then deal with the bouncy death. That chainsaw was definitely not pretty. And these knights weren't even alerted to me for some reason. Well, now they are! And they're also dead. Okay, so we have Night of the Living Dead down there. As you can see. And also 3 fiends. For, pain. Because, yeah, the whole idea is that we have this pool of water here, which obviously will interconnect with that area over here. That's the good news. The bad news is you go over there and you're going to have 2 fiends trying to kill you. Leaping right at you and making life a lot more painful. You also have this, wall set right here with a grenade launcher behind it. Convenient for taking out those zombies. But, as you see, it's barricaded, and it says, not this way just yet. So, we don't have that option. We have to go down there. But going down there leads to zombies. Luckily, it seems like they're infighting, so we can actually drop down here. Pretty safe. Okay, how does one get to this altar? Is this the altar? I can't imagine it being so, because otherwise the level would be rather over rather quickly. Let's drop in the water. Living dead! Living dead everywhere! Barrier has disappeared. Okay. Where's this barrier and where's that disappeared from? Living dead keeps hurting me. Oh, I see. Okay, the grenade launcher area is open. But how does one get up? I have no idea. I'm stuck in the area with 2 fiends trying to kill me. Am I supposed to, like, kill the fiends and that will trigger it? I'm hoping so, because that will make it more of a pain with the zombies. Good news, they're dead, but bad news, I still don't have a way up. I need an elevator or something. Zombies trying to kill me, that's not helping. This is not helping. Is this an elevator? Please, an elevator. Okay, that's where it was. At least that solved that mystery. Also, more nails. I somehow missed them on my first time over. Could use that health, and then we can actually decimate those zombies. I need revenge on them. For them, bombarding me when I'm trying to get out of there. The pit of death over there. Okay, so a platform is lower than the pit, and now we can actually get that gold key. But luckily, we can also take this advantage to wipe out the zombies. Gold key, gun. Good enough. Also an elevator that will go back up for reasons unknown. That takes care of the zombies. Now we have a pretty straight line to return back. Also, only 1/2 of the enemies to go. Okay, so gold door. Enter part 2, the Elder Cave. And we start off with some infighting between this guy and that guy, who we'll call Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Let's see, you press this button on the side to get the elevator lowered. And I see we just got our way to some ogres. Like a dual pair of ogres or something. They also are stuck on some staircases, so they're not easily able to do, well, much of anything. This is pretty bad ogre placement, actually. They're not really able to do anything against you. Oh god, Death Knight! Okay, what's the best way to deal with you, buddy? Well, he's up there and he's driving me crazy. I'm going straight up there, because I want to take care of this guy. On guard, buddy. Just keep running in circles. That's one way to beat him. Oh look, a super nail gun. Convenient, because now we have enough to decimate anything. Including the living dead. That zombie moved rather quickly. Unless he was right at the edge to begin with. He seemed to move rather fast around the corner. That's an interesting little doorway. It's like a doorway with some untextured pieces. It looks like it's not aligned at all, and yet because it's so unaligned, it also looks like it has weird, like, look at that clipping there. Also, I just noticed there's a vole around this corner. Hooray! He killed himself! That was hilarious, to say the least. Okay, so we just managed to wipe out this guy. You need to possess the Elder Rune to get through. Does this lead to anything? No, it's just a wall. They're probably just going to open up after I get the key. The key of mysteries, people! It's the Elder Rune. On to part 3, the Inner Sanctuary, which is filled with Vors for some reason. Wait, what? Okay, we need to get down here before they kill me. Where is the, Vor? Where's the Fiend at? The Fiend is what I'm scared more of. The Vor I can take care of easily enough. The Fiend's running around all of creation, though. Make it hard to, like, deal with the Vor. Okay, Fiend down. The Vor's still not around the corner. Itsy bitsy spider wants to throw spike pods. Not getting a good beat on him. It's like anytime I see him, he starts... There we are! He's dead. I think there's another one. I think I heard 2 growling. Didn't I? Yes, sir. But I also get a rocket launcher. This will make life a bit simpler. Hooray! So he's dead. And we've killed 2/3 of the enemies in this map. So let's see here. We've gotten a lot of weird ways to go. As in... lights. I guess that's decoration. There's not really a wall that you can go down. Why does my mouse feel so shaky suddenly? Like, yeah, I feel like I'm in like one of those Blair Witch projects with my shaky cam. Oh, but convenient. More rockets to decimate more stuff. And also a quad damage, which will be useful for decimating whatever is up ahead. First of all, open sesame. It's one way to wipe out some enemies. Then we can wipe out the Death Knight that's down there. See, there's an elevator back up. There's also a doorway over there that leads forward. Secret little doorway. So we'll take this, grab here, and decimate him. Through this way. Where's this lead? Pentagram. Now's the time. Fiends. And plenty of death. Where's this go? The Nether Rune. Plenty of death, definitely. Okay, so that was crazy. But at the same time, I just killed a bunch of enemies. And we basically just flew through half the level. Okay, this button just opens up the way we just came from. Which, now as you see, is very easily accessible, including giving me some more free shells. But yeah, I have plenty of resources. That's pretty good. I don't really have any armor because I kind of just wasted it on that reckless maneuver. I probably shouldn't have taken the armor. Was it right in the way, or did I, like, just not think when I grabbed it? I kind of forget. But it doesn't matter too much. I grabbed the Thunderbolt, so now I make it to this room, whereby we have 3 Shamblers guarding, stuff. The best way is probably going to be to grab that 100... There we are! Yep, grabbed the quad damage so I could decimate as fast as I could. Then I just strafed left so that way I could grab the 100 health before I died. Great strategy! And as you see, that leads us to the other rune. Which seems to be the whole point of this level, is just to collect a bunch of pointless runes. We got the black magic rune. And up here is the exit. So we walk right into this, and you exit the level. Hooray! So, that is basically the level with some fancy altars and stuff like that. And it leads to DM5 of all levels in the world. Why DM5? I don't know. But yeah, DM5. Exciting for reasons unknown. Anyway, that's that level, people. Thank you all for watching. It's been an adventure. As I said, there's really not much to be said this time because it is a level we've kind of already seen. So anything that really has been needed to be said was already kind of said. So with that in mind, thank you all for watching. It's been an adventure, blah, 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 blah. And I shall see you all, well, next time.